Hello everyone, I'm here again. This time we're going to talk about combat. This is specific to the forum based version of the site of Ourarilya. Alright, let's see. We're going to start. From the beginning, of course. What other story wouldn't start at the beginning? Always a good place. Combat. Combat is done in a post by post manner. Like one character attacks, then the next, then the next, then the next. But in between that, characters can still attack as they want. So basically, let's say character A walks forward and attacks the enemy, whether it be an NPC or a boss, whatever, or another character, whatever. That's his first attack. Then, and doing that, another character, in different after that first post is posted, the next character can do something else, and the C character can do something else, and so on and so forth. But while you're waiting to, it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not like it's in a particular arranged fashion. One character does an attack, and that's posted as a message, as a written text. Then the boss could attack another character in the next post, or the B character could move or do something. But you see what I mean? It's random. It's random arrangement, because A character could do something, or to start, B character could do something, and then 3 posts down after, like, C and D character do something, an NPC could do something, or the boss could do something, or something completely out of normal could happen, like bits of rock fall off the ceiling and land in your way. You got to go around it and waste more time with another post saying you went around this block and stuff. And by the time you finish with that message, another NPC could do something, or you see what I mean? It's in that sort of fashion. It's random in between character posts. Well, you know what I mean? It's like I'm the character here, and I go here. I don't attack because I want to be behind cover, and then by the next post, another character, another NPC shoots an arrow at you, and it hits the rock and smashes. And because you took the cover, it didn't actually do anything because you had protection. And it's all depending on what the character and the player do. Because depending on that variable, the NPC can't do its own movement, or it can't go about its procedure. Let's say, for the sake of this, let's say the first character does nothing. Okay, the second, all of the characters do nothing. They just stand there because they're just being silly. They don't know what to do. And so the boss or a character, they can actually just shoot at you or whatever. But in order for the whole story to start, the combat to start, one of the characters will have to do something. But it's variable. So the NPCs could do this or that, or the boss could fly away into a different area, or on a higher ledge where you can't actually shoot at it, or a ranged character has to, or a mage, whatever. There's variables, and it works this way because it is forum based. This is not how it works on the tabletop game. None of this stuff is. Well, a lot of it is, but it's like it's arranged in 2 categories: forum and tabletop. So you don't actually get the same experience you could have on the tabletop version that you could have on the forum base. So it's in different areas, but you know what I mean. But like I was saying, that is basically all is the stuff that you can do. It's like, say you're fighting and stuff. You just did all the stuff I said or whatever, and a completely random event happens in which there's a flash flood, and so you have to actually escape. This doesn't become combat anymore because or maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe the boss is still chasing, or the dragon is still chasing after you. That would be the boss. But it's still chasing after you while you're actually running away from this flash flood. You're trying to get higher ground. And by you see what I'm saying? It doesn't always have to be my character does this, 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 my character does. You see how boring that sounds? That's exactly what would happen if you did a round, where you have your characters do something, then the opponents do something, your characters do something, the opponents do something. It gets really boring that way. So by a post manner, different things could happen, and this is all at the discretion of the storyteller to actually watch as the first character makes a movement or an activity where he shoots an NPC, and it's up to that. It's up to that sort of process. What determines if they hit? What determines if they hit or not is depending on the NPC or the boss's armor class, depending on if it has a high dexterity, depending on if it. There's a few options here. Depending on if it has like jagged skin and heavy like dragonfest scales, it's probably if you shoot an arrow at it, it doesn't. It's just a basic arrow. It's probably just going to wing off or shatter or smash in two or something. But I'd say there's this weeny little fucking halfling. Oh, I hate halflings. That was for you, Underwood. Anyway, let's say there's a halfling, right? I'm never going to play halflings in there unless they're enemies. You're shooting at a halfling, and he has nothing on. Well, obviously the arrow's going to either wing him, or maybe it's up to the storyteller, so depending on where it goes. Or maybe it hits him in the chest and the heart, and he dies, or maybe it just pops him in the forehead, and he's done. And blood squirts out, and I'm dead. Maybe that's how it goes. Maybe it starts running out of the way while you're doing that, and it skitters past him, or it sticks in the ground. But usually the actual NPCs, they can actually be designed by the storyteller while this story's taking place. You'll have a whole skit behind in the background, maybe on the wiki, or maybe just anywhere. It doesn't really matter as long as you have it for a place to put it, and you can actually use it as you're going along. I'm trying to make this very long because I want to see if I can reach the 10-minute mark. But anyway, you can actually see where it's happening. You see all the stuff you can do as a storyteller, and you can make it happen. You can make the characters decide their own combat maneuvers and all that stuff they want to do, but the storyteller decides if not if it hits. Well, yeah, sort of if it hits, but the actualities of certain things. What determines if it hits or not is like a plus or minus system, I think. Like acrobatics versus, not acrobatics, but whatever the attribute is that is for running and jumping and stuff, and like maneuvering. That, whatever that skill is, not skill, whatever that attribute is, I'm sorry, versus, I don't know, your strength or something. With like that, subtract your strength equals, if it's higher than like so and so, or if it's higher than the opponent's armor or something, then it would actually hit. Yeah, that sounds good. I just made it up at the spot. Like say you're splashing your sword, that'd be strength subtract your dexterity, because dexterity would be how fast you swing it. So if it's, and you subtract those two, and if it's equal, if it's higher or at the same as the enemies, the NPCs, the bosses, whatever, then it hits. Like, well, it's different for bosses. This is just for NPCs. I'm sorry. If it's an NPC, it hits, or if it's the same, you have to determine it by another means, a subcategory. But if it's a boss, then I would think that it would be like it would hit, but it would like reduce the brat factor, for the game. Okay. And I think that's how it would work. And you see, by doing that, you're doing this and this and this. It would be the same way if the opponent attacked you. It'd be the exact same way. But the opponent doesn't always have to be an NPC. You can be a character. And so there's a lower character attacking you, then that's fine. If it's higher or lower, the same variables or different variables or whatever the variable may be, depending on the situation, it actually does something or You can do a counterattack if it doesn't work, and you just slap them away or something. And then your armor class would come into a situation in which that character attacked you and striked at you, and it might block, it might not hit you or not. But it really works that way because, and that's how it would factor in certain situations. Is what it is. Okay, I think the video is running a little far. I don't know if they'll let me upload it right now because it's past the 10-minute mark, and I don't know if my channel's ready for that yet. But anyway, guys, comment, rate, subscribe. Check out the channels, Ourarilya.wiki.com, Ourarilya.proboards.com, Ourarilya.webs.com. Bye-bye.